If you want the best rate, if you want to send money to Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, anywhere in Africa, download Afriex today. We have the best rate. Transactions are ridiculously fast. Yes. Ridiculously fast.
Yes.
Within 10 seconds, money has arrived. You've sent happiness home. All right?
Hey people, if you know you are a Nigerian in Canada, Africans, whatever continent you're from, I need to tell you about the Afriex app. It's going to help you to be able to transfer and convert your CADs to whatever currency you want to convert it to. You don't have any excuse to send your people money. Not gonna say, oh, you need to have a CD account or dollar account. You can use it and send money to them in whatever currency. So download that app and start sending them money. Don't be stingy.
Don't be stingy. I hope you have downloaded the Afriex app. I and my family use Afriex to send money around the world. And if you use Afriex, you are not just getting best rate in town, you are also likely to get a bonus from Afriex. Afriex will be awarding many of you bonuses of $50 to $100 if you send money. And this is aside from you getting the best rate. So please make sure you download the Afriex app and use it to send money from US, from Canada, from Europe to different parts of the world. Hello friends, welcome to Choco Millionaire. Welcome to Choco Millionaire. If today is your first time watching, welcome to Choco Millionaire. So the bad news is that the IRCC platform for which people are using to register for the home caregiver and the home child caregiver immigration program, which just launched about 2.5 hours ago, has crashed. It has crashed. What is the result of that? What is the cause of that? Most likely is from the volume of applications. That is just to tell you, if my assumption is right, that is just to tell you that the pressure is serious. Look, the number of people who have been waiting to apply, you have no idea. They say they are targeting 2,350 people for the home caregiver, 2,350 people for the child caregiver program, and you must be a resident in Canada. If you're out of status, they have close to 200 or so spots for those who are out of status and then are trying to apply through this program. The website has crashed. Post your updates there. If you are watching me and you've tried applying for this, let me know. How is it going so far? Is it back online? Is it working? Let me know. The effect of this is that many of you will have to leave your jobs behind for today, at least today or so, just trying to get this done. Our brothers and sisters from India will likely be in groups, sitting in big, with laptops everywhere. People will be trying to log in for their family members and stuff like that, just trying to get in. Is crazy. It's crazy. The traffic. This traffic is just to let you know the interest level of people in this program. It's not because people are just interested in it though. People know they get PR easily anymore. It's not easy to get PR. So everybody is trying to get in. Everybody is probably called in sick already today that they cannot come to work, just so they can sit. It reminds me of my own time when I was doing my permanent residence application through the OIMP. And that was the first time they introduced the online application portal. It used to be paper-based application. And then during my time, for the first time, they said everything's going to be online. My goodness. I called in sick and told my employer I wasn't going to be able to come to work because I needed to be home. Funny thing is that they didn't even tell us the specific date or day they were going to open it. We just guessed that around this time they will open it. And that week I just decided to stay home. And luckily it was open. The traffic, the sleepless night. I had to wake up all night, couldn't sleep. My laptop was on, kept checking, refreshing IRCC's page online, trying to see if they've opened it. Man, it was Canada. Canada has turned into Indomie. Canada has turned into Indomie. You know what I mean? Like the standard of things have just degraded. But hey, anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, keep me posted if you are tracking this. Hopefully you have your friends and families helping you as well. If you're working, else by the time you open your iLight, within 1 minute, it's all filled up. You will see an update telling you we have reached the target. We have received high volume of people, and then application is now closed. Don't be surprised if by end of today they say it's closed. because they've received the target already, you know. Anyway, it is what it is. The biggest update is coming from Saskatchewan, the province of Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan is one of the provinces in Canada. Saskatchewan has made a big announcement, and I think you need to know. Saskatchewan has been one of the easiest provinces that international workers or skilled labor use to migrate into Canada. So those of you who came to Canada as permanent residents through SINP, which is a Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, this video will likely be something that you are interested in. Among all the 10 provinces, probably Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, and a few other provinces are one of the easiest for folks who don't live in Canada, but who are hoping to move into Canada through a provincial nominee program, we'll be looking at, which is Saskatchewan. Effective as we speak, the province has made a decision that didn't come lightly. They said they were basically handicapped by federal restrictions or decisions coming from the federal government too. They will now only be accepting applications from folks who don't live in Canada if you fall into one of the critical sectors that they have a need for in terms of job demands or high in demand jobs. These sectors are healthcare, trades, and agriculture. Healthcare, trades, and agriculture. They've also made some other announcements. So let me just go ahead and just read the bunch to you. So effectively, Saskatchewan has now placed a 25% cap on nominations in the hospitality, food services, retail, trade, and trucking sectors. All right. The province will also no longer be accepting applications for provincial nominations from certain sectors. If you are in the animal service industry, for example, hospitality industry, for example, you will be affected. So those of you in spas, those of you who work in salons, basically, you will now be affected by this. All right. Now, they also had other categories that allowed international folks to come in, meaning people who are not here, residents here in Canada. So, for example, they had a farm owner program or owner-operator program, which allowed people to come in and be nominated to become permanent residents there. They also had an international graduate entrepreneur pathway for getting permanent residency. They also had different categories. They have now officially closed all these pathways that I just talked about, okay? So just to clarify, the entrepreneur, the international graduate entrepreneur, and the farm operator or farm owner pathway have now been closed. This is all in line with changes that the province is making. So that is for those of you who are not in Canada looking to come to Saskatchewan through one of the pathways that I mentioned. You will likely have to reconsider. If you are not in healthcare, you will likely also have a difficult time trying to apply for SINP or provincial nomination through the province of Saskatchewan. Now, what about those who live in Canada? If you already live in Canada, but you are outside of the province of Saskatchewan and you've been looking to move over there to go get a PR, you also want to be really, really updated with all this information coming out from Saskatchewan. So according to their latest update, if you are on an open work permit, which is a spousal open work permit, and you live in Canada, you will no longer be able to apply for Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. All right. So let me actually go straight to their website and read this for you. Okay. So the province, so this is a report from CBC. The province is rebooting the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program with stricter criteria, ending a 5-week pause in application that started after Ottawa, which is the federal government, slashed the number of available spots for foreign workers in the province. All right. The nominee program, which is SINP, is meant to address labor shortages by having immigrants fill vacant positions. The rebooted program moves nominees in 3 sectors to the front of the line and reworks rules to deal with the federal government's new lower nominee allocations for provinces, according to a news release from the Ministry of Immigration and Career Training. All right. So the province will now be prioritizing applications from workers in healthcare, workers in agriculture, and skills trades. These are the three categories they will be focusing on now. So if you are not in one of these sectors there, it will most likely be difficult to get your provincial nomination from the province of Saskatchewan. Now, there is a backdrop there. The reason this is happening is because the federal government, which is the government of Canada, has reduced the slot or the quotas that each of these provinces receive to invite people to get their provincial nominations. Saskatchewan has been hit with the lowest provincial nomination quota since the year 2009. Since 2009, this is the first time that they've actually been hit with the lowest number of spots they can give to people to apply for provincial nomination, leading to permanent residency. All right, Saskatchewan's allocation for 2025 is only 3,625. Now, this is the lowest since 2009. The province has confirmed this. The federal government also now requires that 75% of all nominees are already living in Canada as a temporary resident. So if 75% of this 3,600 and so people that Saskatchewan can consider should be living in Canada, that means that if you are international who is not yet in Canada and not a resident, you fall under the 25% cap, right? They will only restrict, they will restrict the SINP nominations or allocations for those who are outside Canada trying to apply to 25%, whilst retaining or keeping 75% of the slot for those who are already in Canada. All right. Now, under the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, or what we call SIMP, employers are normally allowed to hire foreign nationals if they are able to prove that they can't find anyone in the province to fill a position. All right. So yeah, let me go on and then read this. A lot of restaurants and tracking companies rely heavily on foreign nationals for drivers or cook positions. Many of these people are now going to be struggling to get their PR if they are actually hoping to do this through Saskatchewan. All right. Okay, so let's go on. Ottawa's new immigration plan for 2025-2027 cut immigration levels to provide well-managed sustainable growth in the face of national challenges around housing, infrastructure, and social services. More than 90% of the province's economic immigration happens through the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. All right. Now, what is the province of Saskatchewan itself saying about all of this? The fact that the federal government has reduced their allocation level by about 50%, which now leaves them with just a small quota to give to people. What are they saying about it? The province said it is disappointed with the federal government's decision to slash nominee allotments by as much as 50%, but said that the changes to the provincial program, which were announced on Thursday, will ensure that our reduced number of nomination is used effectively in a way that prioritizes building the economy of Saskatchewan. All right. Now, so let me just recap. Based on the changes they've made, these are the new rules. There will be a 25% cap on nomination in the hospitality, food services, retail, and tracking services. Right here on the screen, as you can see, 25% cap. All right. They will also no longer be accepting nominations for spas, salons, and pet care services. I talked about that earlier. They will also be closing the categories for entrepreneur, international graduate entrepreneur, and then farmer owner / operator streams. All right. Okay. Now, let's go and look at the other aspect there. Now, if you are also already living in Canada, but from a different province, say you are in Ontario, and you plan on moving to Saskatchewan, you want to be really mindful of this. With all these changes they are making, they will now be focusing more on people who are resident in Saskatchewan. And in fact, the international student stream, for example, they are restricting their international student or graduate stream. Let me take my time and explain this. So Saskatchewan have what is called the international graduate stream, which allows international students who graduated and have a valid work permit and stuff like postgraduate permit to actually apply for a nomination to get their PR. Right now, they are actually going to restrict that to people who studied in Saskatchewan. They are going to be restricting that. So if you study outside of Saskatchewan, you're moving there, you really want to look into the details, go on their website. I'll make sure I put a link the official link here. I think I can actually open the official link right now and just show you that. I'm also going to be posting that there so that you can read it, okay? Yes, I have it right here. Now, this is on their website update. The update came on March 27. So let me just go into, you see, they are actually going to even be doing an information session on some of these recent changes. So you can join if you really want to understand the changes that I'm discussing in this video very well. You can register to join to understand it better. I'm going to do my best to explain them to you. Now, federal government reductions. The first one under the update is federal government reductions to Saskatchewan immigrant nominee. They confirmed that they have received a much lower slot or quota, all right, by 50%. Now, the reason is because not only is federal government aiming to reduce the number of immigrants coming into the country from now to 2027, there is also another reason, guys. So the federal government wanted to ship asylum seekers to most of the provinces in Canada, other than just Ontario and Quebec, which have been shouldering or housing the asylum seekers, majority who came on visitor visa and converted or claim asylum, or majority who came from United States, maybe illegally entered Canada through the borders or through the unofficial port of entries in Quebec and Vermont, entered into Canada. So they may have entered through Quebec. And that put a lot of pressure on Quebec. At a point, Quebec couldn't control the numbers or handle the number of the volume of people crossing from the US into Canada illegally, not using a visa. They started complaining. Their premier gave a lot of pressure to the federal government. So federal government started busing a lot of the asylum seekers from Quebec to Ontario. As we speak right now, majority of the asylum seekers are living in hotels or houses. If you go to Niagara Falls, there is a high chance that about 80% of the hotels there are all occupied by asylum seekers. So Ontario is also feeling the pain. When I say the pain or the pinch of it, what do I mean? The high volume of people who are here. They have, majority have no job. They have been given what they call the brown paper, or what you call the refugee claimant authorization to work. They have the document, but majority don't have a job. So there's pressure. There's pressure here in Ontario. I live in Niagara. There's pressure here. I know a bunch of asylum seekers. I get messages from them all the time on my phone. Hello, Choco. I'm here. I'm this. I cannot. In fact, just yesterday, one got a job yesterday. And the way he was so happy, this guy has been chasing the job for 1 year. As an asylum seeker, he's been chasing the job for 1 year in Ontario. He just got a job yesterday. No, actually it was on Saturday. You know, the way he was happy. He said, Choco, finally, I've gotten a job. Guys, I'm trying to let you understand what's going on. So the pressure has been on Ontario and Quebec. These two provinces are the provinces where you find majority of the asylum seekers. Pressure on housing, pressure on jobs, pressure on everything. Majority don't have a job. So what did the province decide to do? They tried a few things. It didn't work, right? They tried a few things. They made some changes to LMI, basically forcing employers who want to bring foreigners on LMI to consider asylum seekers before giving the jobs out. That one didn't really, I'm not sure it's been effective. It didn't really, in my opinion, my own assessment. I don't think it really yielded the result that they were looking for. So now they decided to now talk to all the other provinces. Hey, Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, Charlie, we have probably about 200,000 asylum seekers. You see what I mean? They're all here. Want to ship some of them. Can you take them in? Oh, Newfoundland said no. They said no. Initially, Newfoundland, which is one of the provinces, said no, they won't take it. Almost all the other provinces said no, they won't take it, because they also have their own problems. So they won't take it. So federal government, under the previous Minister of Immigration, Mark Miller, probably went back and sat and said, okay, these guys, they don't want to cooperate. They don't want to cooperate, eh? They don't want to cooperate. They don't want to take, they want to send them 5,000, maybe 2,000 asylum seekers. They don't want to take, okay. How can we get back to them? This is me reading my own meaning into it, okay? Okay. They depend on us for a quota, which means for us to also guarantee them a certain spot or number of people from their provinces to get PR. Don't be so through the immigration nominee programs. Don't be so, which we are going to get them there. Hey, this province, instead of giving them the 10,000 spot we normally give them every year for PR, slash it 50%. This province. My people, this is potentially the reason why this province we are talking about has received. You see how things are having a cascading effect. Pressure from the asylum affecting the other industries. It is what it is. Unlike the US, where the government can just take the asylum seekers and put them in different places, especially the sanctuary cities or other places. Here in Canada, the provinces have a little bit of power. Maybe I shouldn't go into the details. I just want you to understand that. Let me just pause it there. You can do the reading later on. I'll post a link there. Please read more on that. Now, so closure. This is a confirmation. Entrepreneurial and farm unit closure. I just read that. It's been closed, isn't it? Accommodations and food services, retail and tracking sectors. You see? They said they are putting a cap on this particular sector. If you click on it, it will load for you to read the changes that have been made, isn't it? Now, the aspect where I really want you to look at, let me go to work permit. Revised work permit eligibility. Read this one here. This one is big. Why is the SINP, which is Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, removing eligibility for some open work permit holders? Some open work permits, such as spousal work permits, will no longer be eligible to apply to the SINP due to higher risk of exploitation and poor retention outcomes, which undermine the program's goals of fostering stable and long-term economic contributions. The first time I saw people utilizing spousal work permits to get PR faster was Indians. Indians, you can count them, most of the time they are ahead of the curve. So what most of the Indians were doing, if you're an Indian watching this, please don't get offended. You guys are way ahead. You know it. So allow us to also talk about it a bit. So let's say a couple came to Canada as international student, but they are in Ontario. The wife is in a college as on a student visa, but she came with the husband who is on an open work permit, say of 2 years spousal open work permit. So while the wife is in school, the normal thing people do is the husband would have found a job in the same city or close by, working to support the wife whilst the wife goes to school. So what most of the Indians figured out was that they realized that in other provinces, so long as you have a valid work permit, you can go and work there for about 6 months. And then after working for 6 months, getting that work experience for 6 months, you apply for PR. So the Indian husband, should I add Filipino? Filipinos are also ahead of the curve, right? The Indian or Filipino spouse will leave the wife, who is an international student here in Ontario, move to Saskatchewan, go and work for 6 months using the spousal work permit, or move from here and go to Prince Edward Island, which had a similar program, work there for 6 months. And then after the 6 months, they apply for PR. But all this while the wife is still on a student visa study, right? Now, by the time 1 year would have come, the husband who moved with the spousal work permit may have secured a PR in Saskatchewan or PEI, Prince Edward Island, which will now cover the wife who is in school. So the wife was supposed to finish her study before getting whatever. But now the husband has been able to kind of use a 2:1, one stone to kill two birds. You know what I mean? This became a trend and a lot of people were doing it. In fact, somewhere last year or so, 2 years, I made a video on this trend and I even mentioned Prince Edward and other places where it was easier to get PR. Right now, technically, they have closed this loophole. Meaning, even if you are watching right now and you are a student in one province, but then you are hoping that your wife or your husband will use a spousal work permit to go to Saskatchewan, go and get a work experience. I beg, you just read it, right? You just read it. I'll put that. Read it again. Some open work permits, such as spousal work permits, will no longer be eligible to apply for SINP due to what? Exploitation. What exploitation? Probably the loophole that I just talked about, all right? So this is a big blow to a lot of international students who are planning. Changes to international students. They also have announced here Eligibility is now limited to graduates from Saskatchewan designated learning institutions. Further, applicants will require to have resided in Saskatchewan during their studies and gain work experience relevant to their degree while in the province. This ensures stronger ties, blah, 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 blah. Simply put, those days of I finished my studies in Ontario, Vamood, Saskatchewan, to go and get my PR, they've closed that loophole too. Right now, you ought to have schooled in Saskatchewan, reside in Saskatchewan, work in Saskatchewan in order to apply. Basically, it's all going to go full circle, Saskatchewan only. Before, schooled in Ontario on a 1-year postgraduate work permit, I cannot get my PR faster. Ooh, Saskatchewan. I'm coming from another province. It's difficult to get PR. Boom, Saskatchewan. 6 months work, put it in. Right now, they've closed that loophole too. See that? That's a big, big, big one there. When I say big, it means this is a big change that will affect a lot of people. All right. What about postgraduate work permit? They also have an update there. Let's look at this. Remember, the link is going to be available on this video in the description box of my video. So look for this on my YouTube channel. Post-graduation work permit holders, PGWP, postgraduate work permit holders, will only be eligible to apply to the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program Student Health and Agriculture Talent Pathways and International Skilled Workers. Employment offer subcategories ensuring alignment with labor market. So basically, if I understood it right, those who are even applying with a postgraduate work permit using the student path, they likely will be focusing on the key sectors that they think are important, right? So they say, well, health and agriculture and talent pathway, you have to apply through that, or international skilled worker. It be like say, right as they talk, say, you ought to have studied certain programs. If I understood it right, correct me if you understand it better. You ought to have studied certain programs that are in line with their job labor market priorities in order to be considered. Let's look at this one here. Post-graduation work permit holders who studied in a province other than Saskatchewan but have been working in Saskatchewan are no longer eligible to apply through any of... Wow. PGWP holder studied in another province, not Saskatchewan, but then you've been living in Saskatchewan. You moved there, you are living there, and you're hoping to get a PR. Right now they say that one is also gone. So therefore, if you have been affected by these changes, please look forward to receiving a refund. They will likely return your applications, and they will refund the application money that you've paid. Because these changes are big. 3,600 spots for a province like Saskatchewan, which normally receives more than that. They normally receive over 7,000, close to 8,000. Now they only have 3,000 to work with. So they are trying to move the chess. You know what I mean? They are trying to move it a bit. The requirements are more stricter. Overall implication of this, there will be a lot less movement going into Saskatchewan. People are not going to be looking at Saskatchewan the way they used to. People are going to be changing. Now, those who are even going to study in Saskatchewan as international students will also start looking to see whether the courses they are studying will also make them eligible for SINP or Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee. Lots of changes there. Remember, I will put the link in the description box. Check this out and read it for yourself. These are some of the changes coming from Saskatchewan. Let me know what you think. I think it is huge. I foresee other provinces doing the same. Some of the provinces are adamant that they are not going to receive the asylum seekers. Alberta is one of them, very conservative province. Danielle Smith, the premier there, she's very resolute. When I say resolute, it means she's not the type of person who just bashes, right? She will likely remain the same in terms of we're not receiving asylum seekers. Newfoundland and Labrador has already caved in. They said they will accept the asylum seekers, so they've given them back. But a lot of provinces will not. A lot of provinces will not cooperate. And what it means is that lower permanent residence laws, which could affect the people who already live there as international students, postgraduate work permit or sponsor work permit holders and what have you. Or maybe temporary foreign workers like maybe LMI, I don't know. many people will be affected, all because of the pressure from the federal government for this. You know what I mean? Remember, not just is the federal government pushing them to accept the asylum the volume, but they also have made commitment to reduce the overall number of people coming into Canada. So this also explains why we are seeing a reduction in the volume of people who are now getting their SINPs, right? Much lower and much lower. All right, let me see if there are questions on the screen. Ask your questions. Right now, as we are talking, the update, I got the last update per the time I started this video, is that the IRCC website for you to apply for home care giver and child caregiver has crashed. Why the crash? No official statement yet. But I am assuming that the crash would have been due to the volume of applications or volume or traffic. You see, you open a thing that you are going to give PR, everybody will apply. No, so everybody is online trying to do it, and then the server goes like this, it goes like this, it goes like this. You know what I mean? And then boom, it collapses. So most likely, that is what is happening. All right. Let me see if there's any question here on the screen. Yeah. Ale Krista, Ningo. Please, Mr. Choco, is there any update from Newfoundland? I will let you know if there is an update there. One update is that they decided to cooperate with the federal government to receive the asylum seekers. So therefore, they've been given their spot back. I know one person, for example, who was in Ontario, somebody you might know, I won't mention the name, who decided to move to Newfoundland just to go and get a PR there. I'm not saying you should move to Newfoundland, but I'm saying that spread your tentacles and look outside and see where. All right. I predict that there will be tightening everywhere. All right. Tredik has a question. I'm working in retail and just graduated from a diploma in tech in Saskatchewan. I'm 22. What are my options? Well, I will leave it for you to just read. You heard the sectors they are focusing on right now: healthcare, trades, and agriculture. Healthcare, trades, and agriculture. Good news is that you studied in Saskatchewan, isn't it? But per the updates that are coming out, the retail industry, the hospitality industry, they are getting hit. No mention of even tech, software, computer. No mention of that. And you see how this aligns with the express entry recategorization that they did, right? Where they took tech out and all these computer-related courses, business courses were taken out. And now they are more aligned with just trades, healthcare. That is why if you are in healthcare, you can see today they launched a PR-related program for which people who are mostly in healthcare or childcare, childcare, right? Early childhood educator is going to be still big for the next 2-3 years. If you're studying that course, you cannot go wrong. Healthcare, you can't go wrong. Anything healthcare, probably big. When I say anything, just make sure you're also studying courses that are in demand in terms of healthcare, all right? Jude Jeba, Saskatchewan is bringing a province war on PR. If other provinces start, then let's move in between provinces for temporary residence. Well, I disagree with you a little bit. So if you read the update that came from them, they are not interested in bringing any war with other provinces. They have been forced. Their hands are tied. These people used to work with what? Almost 8,000 spots to give people. And it's been one of the places for years that people will move from other provinces to go and get their PR because it was much easier. Requirement, 6 months of work experience, and then you apply. You know what I mean? But look at it now. They said they were only given 3,600 to work with. So if it is you, what will you do? You have people who study in Saskatchewan, will you prioritize them? You have people who work in Saskatchewan, will you prioritize them? Or you prioritize those who didn't work in Saskatchewan or probably didn't even study in Saskatchewan, but then are now moving from other provinces to just come and get a PR. And the truth is a majority, when they finish, they leave anyways. They leave and return to other provinces. They say Saskatchewan is too cold. So if you look at it from an objective point, they are only reacting based on what restriction came from the government at the top. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think it's other provinces are doing the same thing, by the way. Other provinces are also feeling the same pinch. Yeah. All right. What about those on express entry application? I think I covered that a bit in express entry is also really, really tight right now, right? I saw the data, the volume of people. Let me just see if I can open that online for you to see. If you look into the express entry pool, it used to be that the majority of people will be in the 300 and 400 range points, okay? 300 to 400 points range there. Okay. Express entry draw. Let me go online and look for that right now. Okay, so I'm here right now. But right now, when you look at the data, Charlie, the number of people who are in the most recent draw was on 21st of March, where 7,500 people were invited with a minimum points of 379 points under the French language proficiency there. Let's look at the breakdown of the people who are there. I think they took this down. Okay. Category. No, I'm trying to get the volume. But the point here is that, guys, there are about rounds of invitations. Let me do this. I think it's here. Oh, where is it? I'm not able to find a general round. Where is it? There are about 25,000 people right now in the express entry pool with points ranging from 500 to 600. That's a lot. It's not even easy getting 500 points, people. Majority of the people are within 300 to 400, 420, 430. Those who have 450 to 499 are also a lot. And it used to be a safe zone to have anything from 450, 460, 470. It used to be more comfortable being there. You know, you could get an invitation. But right now, those who are in the 500 range, we are talking about 25,000 people. Charlie, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. All right, guys, that is all from me in terms of the update here. I'll see you again in the next update. Don't forget to download your Afriex app. You can now use Afriex to send money from certain countries in Africa. For example, Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria. You can send money within Africa using your Afriex app. Afriex also allows you to send money from Canada, US, Europe to India. You can also use Afriex to send money to Africa if you like. So if you're in Canada, for example, and you want to send money to Ghana, use the Afriex app to do that. You can also schedule your payments on Afriex, meaning that you don't have to go into the app to manually send money. You can set it up, schedule it, and Afriex will set it at the time when it is up for you, okay? You also get in top rates there. Remember, you can also unlock some bonuses for using my name, Choco, as the promo code. And when you do that, in fact, I get people who use my name, and then I get alerts on my phone that this individual has unlocked. Look at it. There's one right here. Okay, so great news, your referrer, Ebenezer so and so. Ebenezer, I won't mention your last name. You are from Ghana, from the name I'm seeing here, has completed their first qualifying transaction. Your referral bonus is on the way. So yeah, go ahead and use it. When you use it, you unlock $15 bonus, and I also get $15 bonus. All right. And then you can use it to shop on Amazon. You can use it to shop at a bunch of different places. Your bonus that you unlock, you are able to use it to shop. Okay. So go ahead and use your Afriex app. You can use it to do Uber. Look at all the places that you can use it. Uber, you can use it at Macy's. You can use it at Disney, Amazon, Kohl's, basically Adidas, a bunch of places that you can use your bonus to actually shop up to $200. All right, God bless you guys. I'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.